At the beginning of the story, we are shown a man in the middle of the snowy rocks of the Arctic, whose name is Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen is stuck here for the last several days, and he is waiting for help here. He also has a plane that has crashed. In fact, Mikkelsen was passing through here with his companions, but his plane crashed in which all his companions were killed, and he is left alone, so he is waiting for some help here. He also has a small machine whose handle is rotated so that if there is any helicopter around, he will be able to contact it. But even after trying many times, he does not have any contact because this is a place where no one ever comes from above. Where the snow is raw, Mikkelsen has set up small traps to catch fish. He has caught a lot of fish, and he keeps himself alive by eating those fish. Mikkelsen goes up to the rock the next morning, where he turns on his machine once again. But even today, he cannot contact anyone. In fact, he has buried all those who died with him here. Now Mikkelsen is back on his plane. He sees that the fish he had stored are no longer there. Mikkelsen thinks there will be a survivor like him, but soon he sees the footprints of polar bears there. He understands that there is a polar bear here who can also attack him, so he runs inside his plane. Now there is another fear in Mikkelsen's heart, and that is the fear of polar bears, which are very dangerous. The next morning he comes out, he sees that there is a stormy wind all around, but still he goes to the top of the rock with his machine so that he can contact someone, and when he turns the handle of the machine, the green light is lit in it, which means that there is a helicopter around. But due to the snow all around, he does not see anything. Just then he sees that there is a helicopter in front of him. He has made a flare. He lights that flare, and now the helicopter has seen him. The helicopter starts coming towards him, but here the helicopter is hit by a storm, due to which the helicopter crashes. Mikkelsen runs to the helicopter and sees that the pilot of the helicopter is dead. But there is also a girl who is badly injured, and now Mikkelsen breaks the door of the helicopter and lays the girl on top of it because he wants to save her life, and now Mikkelsen pulls the girl to his plane with great difficulty. He takes her inside the plane where the girl regains consciousness. He tries to talk to her, but the girl doesn't know English, and the girl's language doesn't know Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen sees a huge wound on his stomach where he puts stitches. The girl faints once again, after which Mikkelsen writes a note for her that I will come back to you soon. He goes to his helicopter. Where there is a dead body of the pilot, he buries that pilot there and puts a stone on him, after which he checks the helicopter where he gets a map of the Arctic, meaning that he can get out of here with the help of that map. She also gets some frozen noodles and a stop. For the last several days, he has been eating raw fish, and now that he has a PAL stop, he can eat cooked food. Mikkelsen finds a photo of the injured girl and the pilot. They also have a small child together. He understands that this is a family, and now the pilot has died because of Mikkelsen, because the pilot brought his helicopter towards him to save him, due to which his helicopter crashed and he died. Mikkelsen is deeply saddened by this. He comes to his plane with all the luggage. Then he hears a sound from outside, and when he goes to the place where he had set a trap for fish, he sees that a very big fish is trapped in that trap, with which he comes back inside his plane and makes noodles and fish by lighting the stop. In fact, he has been stuck here for the last 6 months, and today, for the first time after 6 months, he has eaten cooked food. He also feeds some food to that girl, and then checks the map which was found from that girl's helicopter. Checking the map, he finds out that there is a point several kilometers away from here where people come by helicopter, where they can be rescued, and now he decides that he will leave with the girl because soon the cold is going to increase even more. The temperature will reach minus 40 to 50 degrees, and no human can survive in such a cold. So Mikkelsen decides that he will go to that point by taking that girl with him. Although this work is very difficult, but Mikkelsen decides that he will definitely save the life of that girl, so he catches a lot of fish and also keeps some water with him and leaves a note in the plane that we were alive here. But now we are going to the north side, and he lays that girl on top of a plastic top stuffed inside his sleeping bag and starts moving continuously by pulling her. But Mikkelsen himself has become very weak here, so his movement is very slow. He kept talking to the girl, and now he has a motive and wants to save the girl's life at any cost because her husband died somewhere. Because of him, Mikkelsen continues to pull the girl forward. After several hours, when he checks his map, he realizes that the distance is still about 45 kilometers, which will take him about 7 days to cross because the speed in the snow is very low. At the same time, there is very little strength left inside Mikkelsen, and the biggest threat is the polar bear, which is somewhere around in this area. Now at night, he has to sleep somewhere in a safe place where the cold is less, because at night the cold in this place means that the temperature is very low. That's why he makes a small tent by making a pit inside the snow, so that he can avoid the cold. He takes the girl inside it where he also makes food. Mikkelsen spends the whole night in the tent with the girl. The next morning he resumed his journey. Mikkelsen is now more tired than ever, but at any cost he goes to save the girl. That is why he keeps moving slowly. Then a very high rock comes in front of him. He can climb this rock alone, but he cannot pull the girl up. He takes the map out of his pocket and sees the map, which he realizes that there is another way to cross the rock. But if he goes the other way, it will take him 4 or 5 more days, and he does not have enough food supply to survive for that many days. So now he has to pull the girl up on the rock. Now first he himself goes to the top of the rock, and from there with a rope, he starts pulling the girl. He is slowly pulling her up, but then suddenly the rope is released from his hand, and the girl gets back to the same place. Mikkelsen understands that it is impossible to pull the girl up from here, so he brings all the stuff down from the top. He has understood that if he has to save that girl, then he has to go a long way from the other side, and now he slowly starts moving forward from that long way. Here the girl is very injured, so her health is worse than before. Mikkelsen keeps dragging the girl all day, and now it's night. At night he has to take shelter somewhere, because at night it gets very cold. There is also a danger of polar bears. Then he sees a small tunnel between the rocks. He understands that this is a polar bear tunnel, but he has no other way to get into it. Mikkelsen's lucky he doesn't have a polar bear in him. He goes inside with the girl where he cooks food, but now he has run out of gas, which means that after this, he will not be able to cook and eat food. As the day goes on, Mikkelsen's problems are increasing. Now when Mikkelsen is inside the cave, he hears the sound of someone passing. He understands that there is a polar bear outside, and then he tries to come in, but Mikkelsen somehow burns his flare and throws it out, which the polar bear is afraid and runs away from there. Mikkelsen spends the night in fear. When he comes out the next morning, the polar bear is not there. So soon he leaves this place with the girl. Now after walking for several hours, a snowstorm comes in front of him. To escape from the snowstorm, he puts the sled on which the girl is lying down in front of him and holds the girl and lies down there. After some time, when the snowstorm stops, he sees that he is completely buried under the snow. Mikkelsen also checks on the girl and sees blood coming out of her mouth. He checks her wound, which is now infected. He understands that it is impossible for the girl to escape because there is no movement in his body, so he decides that he will leave the girl here and start the journey alone. That's why he leaves here alone with his family photos. Although he is suffering a lot while doing this, he has no other way but that. Now when he goes a little further, he falls into a ditch, due to which the bone of his leg is broken. At this point, Mikkelsen realizes that he did something very wrong by leaving the girl there. He also realizes that maybe he is alive because of that girl. Maybe the one above also wants to save that girl's life. So somehow he comes up once again by tying his leg and goes to that girl. The girl came to her senses now. She asks Mikkelsen for water. Mikkelsen gives him water, after which he once again starts to pull the girl on top of the sled. The bone of his leg is broken, so he moves slowly with the help of wood. While doing this, he is in a lot of pain, but he wants to save the girl's life at any cost. That is why he slowly moves forward to reach the rescue point, which is at a height. He can't pull the girl up, so he goes alone first. He sees that there is a helicopter there, which makes him very happy. He comes back down and slowly pulls the girl up, and now the helicopters and people in front of him are far away from him. Although Mikkelsen lights the flare, they cannot see his flare. So Mikkelsen takes off his jacket and sets it on fire, but to no avail. They can't see the fire. Mikkelsen pulls the girl out of the sleeping bag. They make both their voices, but by then they fly away from the helicopter. Mikkelsen and the girl completely break up. They realize that this is the last moment of their lives. Mikkelsen holds the girl's hand and lies there on the ice. He apologizes to the girl. He says that your husband died because of me, and now you are also going to die. After this, the eyes of the girl as well as Mikkelsen were closed. Then suddenly we see that Mikkelsen's hair has started to move. In fact, the helicopter has come after him. Mikkelsen was stuck in the middle of the snowy mountains of the Arctic for the last several months but never tried to get out of there. But when he saw that the girl's condition was bad, and if he did not take her from here, she would die, he decided to come to the rescue point. The way Mikkelsen tried to save the girl's life, which also saved his life, and after many months he managed to get out of that place, this is the end of this movie. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel.